2 years ago, if you told me that Shanks and Luffy would fight, I would not have believed you. Mostly because at the time I didn't know anything about One Piece, so I'd just be confused as to why you're talking to me. I'd probably call the cops or something, I don't know, it would have been creepy. Regardless, Shanks and Luffy's reunion is one of the most awaited reunions in the history of anime, along with the union of me and Zoro. Oh, just me waiting for that? Okay. Recently, however, it feels as if the reunion is going to end in fighting rather than, well, not that. Wholesome conversation over tea, whatever. Before we can talk about why this fight would make sense from a character building standpoint, let's talk about why this fight is almost set in stone. The first hint of a possible Shanks vs. Luffy fight came all the way back in chapter 907 when Shanks met the Gorosei. I mean, it's not like people just walk into have a chill conversation with the Gorosei. They seem like horrible people to have conversations with. Hey, how's your day going? Pretty good, you know? I just finished my daily genocide, 700-year streak. Never missed a day. What the fuck? Shanks meeting with a group of people who directly oppose Luffy and have caused thousands of people to suffer is pretty sus. However, what truly cemented the Shanks vs. Luffy matchup came all the way in chapter 1054. Spoiler warning for anime onlys. To me, this panel cemented the Shanks vs. Luffy matchup. I mean, most of Luffy's opponents have had the same goal as Luffy. Knowing how stubborn he is, I doubt there is any world where he just lets Shanks go for the One Piece, no matter how much he loves him. The most recent chapter, chapter 1076, showed the most likely reason for the fight anyways. Shanks is currently fighting Kid, who, well, he's probably gonna get absolutely destroyed by Shanks. Lucky-ass motherfucker. As far as we know, Kid has 2 poneglyph rubbings. The one he got on Wano after beating Kaido, and the one he most likely stole from Big Mom. If there's a poneglyph on Elbaf, that means after beating Kid, Shanks will have 3 of the 4 road poneglyphs. The only one he'll be missing is the one on Zo that Luffy currently has, and the one Luffy is missing is the one that Shanks probably has on Elbaf. You can probably see where I'm going here. A fight between the Straw Hats and the red-haired pirates for the final poneglyph. Or, and I hate to say this, but maybe, just maybe, Foxy was relevant. But more on that later. However, the fight between Luffy and Shanks would also make sense from a character writing standpoint, which I think we should look at first. Shanks and Luffy are pretty similar to each other, but at the same time, they are different. I know that sentence makes no sense, but stick with me for a bit. Obviously, the two are similar for a lot of reasons. For one, they both will obviously want the One Piece. However, both of them are also extremely carefree. I mean, they love partying and just lazing around all day. Furthermore, both of them are also extremely nice, unless someone hurts their friends, in which case they go full-on badass mode. And finally, both of them are also related to the Straw Hat, quite possibly the most important object in the entire show. However, from the most recent Shanks appearances, they appear a lot more different than you may think. The most notable difference when it comes to their fighting abilities is their Devil Fruit and their, well, not that. Luffy's Devil Fruit is one of his strongest abilities, whereas Shanks relies mostly on his Haki. Luffy's a lot more brute force when it comes to fighting and prefers to fist people. No. Luffy's a lot more brute force when it comes to fighting and he prefers to punch and kick people, whereas Shanks uses his sword and seems to fight more tactically and elegantly. Yes, I'm saying this even though we've only seen him fight twice in the canon, and both times we've barely seen a fight. Listen, in Film Red he was cool, okay? Their approach to getting the One Piece is also radically different. Shanks waited for years and years until he could steal the poneglyphs from Kid. It never felt as if he actively cared about the actual journey. And while this does make sense because he already experienced it once on Roger's ship, Shanks is also a lot less stubborn than Luffy. Luffy would never give up the possibility of seeing the One Piece. If Zoro got sick or something, Luffy would just hand him some Vicks Vapor Rub and go straight for the One Piece. Like, there's no shot he stays behind. What I'm trying to say is Luffy cares a lot more about the journey. As we saw during Marriage Wall, the treasure doesn't even matter to him, it's more about the journey and the feeling of being free. On the other hand, it feels like Shanks has already achieved his freedom. I mean, he does nothing all day and he just drinks. Occasionally prevents war and prevents the world from collapsing, but mostly just drinking, you know? Writing this has made me realize, is he just an alcoholic? Shanks seems to have achieved everything Luffy wants to achieve other than the One Piece. His approach to get the One Piece is also drastically different, so Shanks and Luffy feel like 2 different coins at the same side. Dude, I can't English today. 2 different sides of the same coin. Got it right that time. It would make sense for Shanks and Luffy to have some sort of conflict between them because they're 2 humans with similar ideas and goals but different methods of achieving them. Anytime humans have the same goal but different ways of achieving them, they don't usually get along the best. And I don't even have to pull up some random historical figure. Just think about when you had a group project at school and that one kid would always argue with you. Yeah, good times. Fuck you, Jessica. Still haven't forgotten you. Being completely honest with you, I think a Davy backfight is the only possible way for the Straw Hats and the red-haired pirates to fight, because without the Grand Fleet, I really don't see a way for the crew to win. Unless I'm hyping up the red-haired pirates too much, it feels as if they're impossible for the crew to beat as they are right now. Also, I don't think either crew particularly wants to hurt the other. Way back when Luffy said he'd take down all the Yonkos, he put up 3 fingers. Though he is dumb as shit, I don't think this was an accident. Luffy, to me at least, seems like he does not want to hurt Shanks. He genuinely cares about him. In conclusion, I think a Davy backfight is going to go down between the red-haired pirates and the Straw Hats, mostly because I really don't want to see the other two hurt each other. And finally, while this video was focused on Shanks versus Luffy, I do think that a very big threat is also approaching. Blackbeard. Yes, big was meant in multiple ways. Blackbeard is currently fighting Law, but, well, I don't think Law has much of a chance. Blackbeard is probably going to take Law's rubbings, meaning that he'll have 3 of the 4 poneglyphs. The only one he'll be missing is, well, the poneglyph that Shanks may have on Elbaf. As One Piece is right now, it's clear that we're heading into the endgame of One Piece, and I think this chapter really cemented that. An all-out war is coming soon, and because of more Shanks, so am I. Overall though, that's it for me. Thank you.